And those are the highlights of the FKF Premier League match between Mathare United and KCB. KCB, the team that's been on form, getting that result from the team that was newly promoted. We continue the conversation, and this time it's all about junior sport, and this is tennis, to be specific. And in studio with me, two ladies who work. First of all, we've got Rose Wanjala, who is at my far left, and who was the tournament director of the ITF J60 that Nairobi hosted for the last couple of weeks. And also we've got Veronica Osogo, does a lot of tennis development, also with the federation and also down at the grassroots level. And let me start with you, Rose, and the J6. Full review. Let's talk about the J60 and the impact that is had. 14 nations represented, at least from all around the world, and how you could see our youngsters playing, because we know the doubles is one place where they excelled.
Yes. So yes, we had 14 nations. So each draw had the main draw had 48 players for girls and boys. Kenya had 16 girls and 16 boys participating, and our players, we had 2 players who got to the quarterfinals, the boys, and the girls got out in the second round.
And let's talk about the doubles, because this is
for the doubles. We got to the quarterfinals. Our best performance was quarterfinals for Kenya.
You're right. And look, from that perspective, is where would you see as the main growth points from the youngsters, knowing that they've been playing in the regional and continental competitions for the past 1 year coming into this?
Most of our players are very young. They range from the oldest about 16, 15, 14, 13. So if to develop a tennis player takes like about 10 years, it's a process. So we see these 15, 14-year-olds, like probably in 5 years, we'll be able to see them on the world stage.
Now let me come to you, Veronica, because you work with youngsters, and I can talk about, let me just go back about 6 years. In time, we see Angela Okutoi winning the Kenya Open. A whole bunch of youngsters were there, Ibrahim Kibet, there was Ishmael Changawa, and also the sister Shufa at that point. They all came out. The kind of development that you'd like to see, that you are working with, to ensure that we can see young players getting to high levels.
So we have the Junior Tennis Initiative, and it's a grassroots program that is run by the National Federation and funded by the ITF. So the main aim of that program is to make sure that every child can play tennis. We introduce the program to schools, to communities, to the clubs. So at that level, when a child starts playing tennis in, let's say, grade 1, they have a long time of growth. And for me, my emphasis will be for us to have more children playing in schools, more children playing in the community, and then it is easier to nurture these children, because once they're able to play, we have the tournaments for them to play the junior events. And from there, they can also be able to compete, let's say, in the ITF, the 18 and under. But there's a long pathway that goes, that comes along. So we just have to, for my program, is to have many children, different schools playing. Then from there, we pick the talented children. That is where Angela came from. It is JTA is actually the starting point for every child. So from here, once we pick these talented players, we bring them to the club. Some are the club, some are not in the club, but to bring them. Then from there, they're under a coach, myself or the national coach. So here is where they are actually taught the various skills they need to learn to make their game improve, or their level improve. And then they're in various tournaments. They're in the 6 and under, the 10 and under, the 12 and under, 14 and under. They now play the ITF. Then we also have the current ITF 18 and under, where they now start transitioning. Maybe at 13 would be, because they start the ITF 18 and under when they are about 13. But that means the level must also have grown to that level. Yeah. Then they'll definitely get also the opportunity to go for the world tours, the opportunity to go to the ITF center and nurture their talent. So basically, the Junior Tennis Initiative is the place to be.
Well, let's talk about this, Rose, and This initiative, and one of the things that a lot of people say, I can use a sport like football. At one point, the Harambee Stars was called the Nairobi 11 by the Mombasa people. But what's the work being done such that we can go out to different parts of the country and see the sport grow? We know at one point Changawa and team, we know they're product of a project that was in Mombasa. Could we see others happening? There's Nakuru, there's Kisumu, there's Eldoret, there is Nanyuki, all of these other towns.
I think Veronica can give us, she has people working in the counties,
Yeah.
So maybe she can just give us a view on the JTI people in the counties, then maybe I can
we have programs also in the counties. Okay, of course, Nairobi is the hub, and it's easier to access some of these children, but we still have a program in Mombasa that is having the future Changawas, that is under Coach Ezekiel. We have another program in Kisumu. It's not doing as well as I want it to do, because mostly tennis is expensive, and sometimes even just accessing a facility is difficult. But we are trying to make sure that Kisumu runs. We have in Kakamega. The program is doing very well, and we are also hoping that we are able to move to other counties. For it to, the programs are there, but it's not as I want them to be, because maybe availability of tutors, because tennis you need a skill. You just can't go and teach anything. So it's something that has been we are looking at, maybe to train more coaches, more teachers, so that they're able to run for us the program within the counties.
Okay.
And just to add on what Veronica has said, other than us doing the job ourselves, we're looking to partner with the academies, so train more people to get the skills of coaches. Then we partner with them, we support them in their programs, like give them balls, like host tournaments, and help them for the kids to come and play tournaments. So for example, like the tournament we have under 18, the children we support. So for you to play an ITF tournament, you need to pay what is called an IPIN, that's $55. You need to pay tournament fees, that's another $55. So what we do is we try and pay for these children like IPIN, so that they can be able to play the 11 weeks of tournaments we have. And then when they come to play the tournament, we either give them at a subsidized fee of like $1,000, or they can be free depending on how your status is like. And if you look at the inter-schools, most of the kids who are playing inter-schools are from our JTI program. So far we've done very well, because we go to inter-schools, most of the kids who play are from our program. So we just need to partner with schools, with clubs, and other people who are interested in tennis for us to grow the sport.
Well, Kenya, because of hosting the Billie Jean King Cup, one of the things that happened is the Nairobi club just got a brilliant, it's a full overhaul. We actually now have a real clay court.
Yes,
and how have you seen that changing the quality of play? From an observation from the technical tournament director's perspective.
So if you look at our draw, for example, we are getting more foreign players coming in, because before we are not getting 48 players coming in, but the people who have come have given feedback that our grounds are very good, and we are getting more people coming in. Our players' skills are also improving, because then they are able to get out and compete very well against the other teams, because we are playing on a surface which is different. Tennis is you need to learn the surface. So if it's hard court, it's clay court. So a proper clay court gives the coaches a chance to get the players to acquire the necessary skills.
The impact of that as a coach, what you've seen?
No,
from Maram to real clay?
Maram, the bounces were uneven. For clay court, first of all, you feel that it's a standard surface, so there's just the hunger to be at the courts. And even as a coach, when you're teaching a child a skill and they're getting it because of the surface, the even bounces of the ball, then of course the skill of a child improves. So Maram, we survived, but definitely clay court or hard court is the place to be.
All right.
Yes.
So just when you talk about 11 weeks of tournaments, just give us a wrap of that entire 11
Okay.
weeks.
So for the under 18, so what we try to do, because for players to get a ranking, they have to play under the 18 tournaments. That's a transition from junior into senior tennis and to eventually professional. So for a player to go out and play, one player, we need, like, if they went even to Uganda or wherever, we need like 500,000 for that player to be able to play. So why we host is just to get as many players as to have that experience and get the points. So we have 3 weeks in January, February. The tournament is at Nairobi Club. We have 2 weeks which are held at Parklands, the 2 J30s. We have another 3 weeks in June, July, August. And we have the final 3 weeks, like now what we're hosting, October and November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rose Wanjala, Tournament Director, for the Under-18s ITF, J-Series tournaments. And if you see a number, for example, there is 30 and 60, that's a point you collect.
Yes.
Max from that.
And so J30 is the lowest. The highest will be a Grand Slam where you collect 1,000 points. So you have J30, 60, 100, 200, 300, 500, and then the Grand Slam that gives you 1,000 points.
All right. Thank you very much. And also, Coach Veronica Sogo, thank you for being with us this morning, and we wish you all the best. We hope to see